This is Tarron with Mesquite Performance Horses. We are on a mission to create a world-class 2-year-old program that specializes in the rein cow horse. Today we're doing a review with this ranch horse they call Peanut. This is the end of the second week in our program. Over the period of this past week, we've worked on our arena exercises. So just traveling, staying in the gate I put him in, steering, and then I've taken him outside and rode him outside for a long period of time. Covered quite a bit of country, gone through the canyons and open fields, and just mostly letting him trot out and put some miles under his feet. So we're gonna kind of go over and kind of show what we've been working on in the arena. And like I said, but then at the end of those works, we worked them outside as well. But we'll just show the arena part today. So with this horse, we've pretty much just been reviewing, his handle, steering. So his steering, his stopping, and his self-control. The self-control of his own feet, so controlling his own feet. I think his horse is kind of a worrier. Maybe he doesn't show it a whole lot, but it's part of why he kind of wants to run off and take off and go somewhere. He's not confident in staying at a long trot or just staying at a walk. When I pick up this rein to steer him, a lot of times he'll kind of switch that tail, and so it just kind of shows some anxiousness about him. He also likes to speed up and gain momentum and gain speed when I pick this rein up, rather than waiting on me to tell him when to gain speed. And so we've kind of been working on changing reminding him that I do want him to steer and stay at that same gait. I don't want to have to hold him back and try to steer him around. I would like to be able to steer him on a loose rein and him go where I want him to go without running off. Which he's getting a lot better. Spending time going outside has helped quite a bit. Spending time in this arena has helped quite a bit. This exercise here, I want him to stay at this trot and stay on this fence line. I asked him to stay on this fence line, to follow this fence. I want him to stay at this fence line and travel. So as I said, he's getting better. You've noticed from between this video and last video, his trot has slowed down quite a bit. He's regulating his own speed. That just comes from time working on it, where this is what we want. We want this horse to regulate his own speed, where he just travels straight, and he'll steer where we want him to steer. So in addition to that, I want to be able to steer this horse across here in a straight line and go straight line. Swerve off that straight line, take him back to it, I want him to stay at this same speed, keep his feet moving, and wait for me to steer him when we get here to the end. It's a good thing to do in the arena, but you can do this outside as well. You can go tree to tree, you can go brush pile to brush pile. You just pick you a spot on the ground. See, when he got here, he got anxious, but waiting on me to steer him around, then wanted to throw his butt around instead of just steering real easy. So I want to be able to do this same exercise. You know, find you 4 corners in your arena. Pick you 4 corners out. Just make that pattern. Hit you a corner, and look at another corner. Go to that corner. Just you want to stay on that line straight. You want to stay at the gate you put him in. See all of that tail swishing, and you know, he shouldn't be that worried about just steering around, but we can help him with it. Again, we just put him on a loose rein and pick up the rein and ask him to go where we want him to go. I want him to have confidence to get down here in this end. This time was better. Went deep into the corner, waited for me, and then steered back out of it. This helps them spend time traveling, working on your straight lines, and working on steering this horse. See, even that time was better. He didn't switch his tail as much. Still a little bit, but not quite as much. So he's taking the direction a little better. Will say this horse has made a lot of progress. Bit of time working on my stuff. It's gonna get to where he's pretty handy. Just refreshing him on these basics. So I want to be able to do this at a lope as well, and ideally he just steers around. See, he picks up speed. I'm just going to take him into the fence, slow him back down. With him, some horses you can just stay at that lope, keep going around until they slow down. But him, I need to change his direction. I need to change direction. Slow the line down. I want this horse just to lope around here pretty controlled. So if he goes to taking off too fast, like I said, I'm going to pull him into the fence and slow him back down. See, and you can tell that lope is pretty uncontrolled as he changes leads all the time. And right here, not taking my control. He's wanting to avoid it. He'll cross, see he's cross-firing right now, but all of that is him just kind of running off and not taking a direction, not steering. So we want to help there. That lope off is a lot slower, a lot more controlled. Right here it's a lot more controlled, but he's speeding up and changing leads. We can just change directions on him. We're speeding back up, so we're just gonna go back the other way. See, I don't want this horse running off uncontrolled. I want him just to lope off in a controlled manner and not worry about it. And keep it this lope around this corner. He's speeding up, taking into that fence. See, I think some of it is, just past people pulling around on him pretty quick at a lope. Instead of giving him direction, they're just pulling around on him. And so he gets anxious about it, doesn't quite know where to go, doesn't quite know what to do. He just knows he needs to go fast. See, with that lope off, was a lot smoother. Still cross-firing around and swishing his tail and all that, but his lope's slower, and he's waiting for me to guide him bit more. He started taking off, start gaining speed, so I pulled him into the fence. Just asked him to lope off right there. See, I need to be able to him lope around here controlled on just following this fence. Once we slow down there, he does that well, and we're gonna go and cut across in diagonals. See, a horse, this is simple stuff. Simple stuff. And so we want to be able to, we want to be able to do this outside. Just where we can lope off, nice collected manner. Not have to worry about not having this horse under control. See, like right there, he's lope around here a lot slower. Please. Right here, loping down here a lot slower. He's controlling himself a lot more right here. So we'll come down here and let him rest, because he's doing what we want him to do. So all of that changing leads and crossfiring and all that stuff, we're not I'm not trying to correct that right now. All of that is just showing just more evidence of this horse needing some time to get some more control on him and build his confidence in that area. That's all that is. But we just work on one thing at a time. See, he's lowering his head, he's relaxing a little bit, he's understanding. See, I want a horse to give us a lot of effort, but only when we ask for it. If I just want to lope around here or trot around here or steer around, I want them to be able to do that, and that kind of be more of their normal speed. And then when we ask them to get up and go somewhere, they will. But we're not out here trying to ride around flying dragons or something. We want this horse to be controlled, relaxed. That way we can put in a day's work like we need to. We're not sitting here concerned about a horse that's out of control. See, even there, I went to steer him. He goes to try to pick up speed. This thing, he's just confused the difference between steering and asking for speed. Pick up those reins again, and he tries to speed up. Just gonna remind him here a little bit. I can steer him around without him having to speed up. And some of it's coming up this little mound here, but of course can walk up a mound. Some of these things I wouldn't be doing on a colt. They're not there yet. They don't have any of this understanding, but this horse does. He's plenty seasoned. So just reminded him of some of the stuff. So we'll kind of lope around here some more. Remind him. See, even here, I like that it took a minute to ask him. 1 minute of fence. So he's got his head a little lower. He's loping around a little slower. A little more in a straight line. Not changing leads as much. It's just, he's kind of figuring it out a little bit. He is also thinking about where I pulled him around on that fence line. He was kind of rating back a little bit. So he's smart. I like this right here. We cut out here in the middle, and he just stayed at more of a controlled lope. That's what we want. Kind of using this as one of my corners. We'll come back. You know, the more you do these loping exercises, the more a horse will figure out how to stay in the, and even the lead that you put him in. It just takes time. Takes a lot of miles of working on it. Where a horse has that confidence to guide around and steer around without breaking gait is the first thing there. And then you can start working on loping in that lead that he's in. He's not sitting there trying to break lead all the time, break gait. But anyway, so that's just kind of showing what we've been working on here in the arena. So I'd probably do some more, spend some more time in that, going this other direction at the lope, and then take him outside and trot outside on him for a while. And you know, a big thing that I was taught early on was always walking your horse and cooling your horse off going back to the barn. And so we'll walk a good ways back when we take him back to the barn, let him cool off, and it kind of helps you know, that thing specifically, I've been told, helps a horse from being as barn sour. If you let this horse just run off, or you're at a high rate of speed going back to the barn, you'll kind of encourage that horse to want to get back to the barn, and then that's where his rest is. But if you let him just ease around and walk and cool off going back to the barn and get off somewhere that's not right at the barn, you'll kind of help that as well, and help that anxiousness, and the horse will just be more confident in what you're doing and where you're going. So that'll be our review for today. Just kind of going over some things, getting this ranch horse tuned back up. Overall, I'm pleased with how he's come along, and I think he's going to be a pretty handy horse for people to use. So that'll be our video for today. We'll catch you on the next one.